I seem to like doing these in double features because I'll watch one movie and yeah, I'm just putting the hand in front. I don't care. It doesn't matter. This isn't exactly cinema here. Uh, I watch one horror movie and I think, wow, that was really cool. And then I watch another. I'm like, I should do a Halloween Hangover. And you know what? Fuck it. I'm not gonna do two today. I'm gonna do three. I'm just gonna make this a double feature because I watched these movies in the same night, and it was a really memorable, entertaining night. The first one I watched, I think it's an HBO Max exclusive. Don't quote me on that. I don't know. It's called We're All Going to the World's Fair. And it's not found footage. I thought it would be. But basically, the conceit of the movie is that a young girl, I'm guessing 14, 15, I believe she's 15 because I think they mentioned her getting her driver's license at some point in the movie, like looking forward to it or getting the test or something. I believe she's roughly 15. And she does an internet challenge called the World's Fair. And it's kind of a Momo thing. It's kind of ritualistic where she pricks her finger and smears the blood across the screen. You can kind of see her swipe or whatever. And a lot of it is just kind of her showing her videos. It's very much reminded me of like an eighth grade, the Bo Burnham movie, but made more horror oriented, which is pretty cool. And I didn't think would be, but the main actress especially sells it. Really good young actor. Um, I also think the directing was, for the most part, if not completely, very well done. I think some of the camera shots are incredible. There's one in particular where her bedroom's in the attic, and that's where most of the movie takes place. And it starts in the attic. I believe that it's starting because it does like POV of the webcam, but it's not a webcam footage. It's just kind of angled in a way where it's showing the POV without necessarily being the POV, if that makes sense. And if I'm recalling the exact scene right, because it's been a few weeks since I've seen this, it starts with that, and then the girl, uh, she goes down the stairs, and the camera follows her down the stairs, and then she walks out of her front door, and she walks across her yard into the barn. She goes through her father's toolbox and some stuff like that. I won't give too much away. And then she goes into another room of the barn, and she sits on a couch and starts playing a YouTube video on the projector. And you realize, like, at the point where she sits on the couch, like, wow, this shot has been going on a very long time. This is, like, I picked up on it earlier than that, but by the time I got to the couch, like, wow, this is one of the coolest tracking shots I've seen in horror ever. This is really incredible. And a lot of the movie, I would say, pretty much is great. I think that, like I said, the lead's great. I think the idea of a young child taking this YouTube challenge or this internet meme, like a Momo. I'm too old to know a lot of this stuff, but I know Momo was a thing. I think it's a scary bird monster that will. I don't know the mythology. I'm not going to get into it, but I know that it was a scary thing for parents because it was causing kids to potentially harm themselves, allegedly, or something like that. And that's a legitimate fear, even if you don't think Momo's scary. You think that's scary. The idea of your kid who's too young to process this information, taking it literally, and it leading to real world harm is really scary. And what's so great about this movie, and what's so great about the horror genre with aging, is that I used to watch movies, and if it was a kid in danger, I'm like, oh no, that's like me, you know? But then as an adult, you see it from like a parent's perspective, or I don't know, I'm an uncle, so I guess you could say that, but it's not like I'm thinking, this could happen to my whatever, you know? You just watch it from a guardian, I guess you'll say, custodial point of view, where you're scared for the child in that paternal or maternal way. And the movie has a lot of that. Now, the flaw of the movie, and I don't think it's bad. I'm not criticizing this aspect of the movie. I think the actor was mostly good. He had a lot of Malkovich energy to him, which I liked. I liked the actor. I liked what they did with his story. But ultimately, it kind of took away from it a little too much for me towards the second and third acts, where it really pulls away and starts giving his side of the story more attention. Cool narrative trick. I appreciate taking that leap of faith with the story. That does take confidence. Um, it's just, I don't know. I just think the stuff with the protagonist girl was so good that I really missed her in the second half, and that adds to the story. That's the horror because you're going more and more alienated from her, and you don't know. What's so great about it is does that thing like Rosemary's Baby or the original Child's Play was supposed to do. Lots of these movies where you're not sure if it's supernatural or someone that's just crazy, and it works really well. And that's where this guy comes in, where I won't give away too much of it. Actually, I'll just leave it at that. There's a male character. It's really just two actors the entire movie, and it starts to focus more on the other actor than the main girl. And they were both good. I liked both their plots. It was very modern in an exciting, cool way for the genre. Speaking of Spree, I think the last movie I did Halloween Hangover on. Well, I'm uploading 2 videos today on 3 movies, so one of the last movies I did a Halloween Hangover on. It's very much of that vein, and it's very exciting in the same way, where I'm kind of excited for the genre with these movies that in a way I haven't been in a long time. And I hope there's more like it that utilize more modern concepts, because I think that some directors in streaming services, I give credit to HBO Max, I give credit to Hulu, and I think Netflix with, I know a lot of people didn't like Army of the Dead. I thought it was fun. I'm not saying it's a perfect movie, but it was a very enjoyable time for me personally. I'll leave it at that. I really like that these streaming sites are letting the genre kind of survive for something that's so low budget, typically, for something that is so perfect for like date nights, just watching popcorn at home on the couch. I'm just really happy about where the genre seems to be heading on a smaller level. Like, you got the Blumhouses, you got the A24s, they both have their individual audiences. If you like that, great. If you don't, great. I like some of both those companies' movies. I don't like most of their movies. But they have produced things that I enjoy as well. But I'm thinking with the streaming platforms, we're really going to get more diversity in the genre in a cool way. Now, the second movie of the video, which I think is a Halloween Hangover first. I think I have discussed multiple movies, but it was like in a podcast with a friend called Halloween Hangover Special or something. It's been years. I need to go back through those old videos and see what I want to do with them. I made them private because it just felt like this relic from an old life. It just didn't feel proper. I don't know. I just felt uncomfortable with it. So anyhow, the other movie I'm going to talk about is Eyes of My Mother, which I believe, I didn't research this at all. I didn't plan on talking about this movie, so didn't look into it. Uh, I think the main actress also wrote and directed it. I don't know. But if she did, awesome. Very well directed movie. Her performance was good. This movie, whereas We're All Going to the World's Fair was a good movie, and it was fun to a certain extent. It was creepy. It was, I wasn't like up all night scared, but it wasn't demons, for instance. It wasn't Return of the Living Dead or something, but it was entertaining. This movie, I mean, I liked it a lot, but it's very uncomfortable. It's very disturbing, and it grossed me out. It had me stressed. I was very tense watching it, especially the first and third acts. It's split up into 3 acts, which I always like in movies, and this one does very well. The film is in black and white, and the first one is when the main girl is a child. The third is she's a bit older, quite a bit older. She's an adult, and the first act I thought was incredible. It was really good. And some of the shots in it are breathtaking. There's one of her and her father with like a lantern light out in the middle of the woods at night. And it's just incredible. It's so good. And really the closest I can compare this movie to would be it's almost the female answer to Psycho, really. I mean, there's a lot of Ed Gein type stuff in this movie. And I would say a mix of that and Texas Chainsaw Massacre. But if Texas Chainsaw Massacre is told from Leatherface's point of view. Just a very gross movie, a movie where you're uncomfortable and it's challenging, and that's very good for the horror genre, and that's one thing that I'm very proud, I guess you could say, of this director for doing, because it's rare that a movie will actually get under my skin in the way this did. And I'm not talking like I didn't stay up all night scared again, but as I was watching it, fear for some of the characters in the third act, just discomfort, just stress, just I want to take a shower now type feeling throughout the whole film. And honestly, I'd put this film off for years because I saw some other movies of that era, which wasn't that long, like 5 years ago, I believe, that I just was not into. I really, really, really hate A Girl Walks Alone Home at Night. I really, really, really hate, I think it's called Under the Skin, the Scarlett Johansson movie. I just do not like them at all. And this movie to me it seemed all the same. I was worried the same people were praising it. It seemed to have the same appeal. And I'm very happy to say I enjoyed this movie. I don't say I enjoyed the movie. I appreciated the movie a lot. I respect it a lot. I'm glad I watched it, and I would watch it again and recommend it to people. I don't know if enjoyment is the right term, but that is not in any way a criticism or insult. That is a huge, huge compliment. And looking back, I mean, I got to give the subgenre, the modern, I don't know what you get, the modern feminist horror subgenre, I guess you could say. Movies like Raw, they came in the French movie. What's the other one? The Love Witch. I've reviewed, I don't know if I did Raw, but I reviewed The Love Witch. And I really enjoyed both those movies. Titan is from the director of Raw, another very good movie. There's a lot of exceptions to this rule. It's just that the current trend of art house horror, I guess you could say, that's probably what I'd call it, just modern art house horror, does not typically appeal to me. So it's cool to get some examples where I'm not going to review those movies. I'm not going to talk about a girl walks alone home at night and make a video because I don't like doing negative reviews unless it's something substantial I have to say about it that I think is important enough to make an exception for. But it's really cool to get to make videos about modern horror movies that I'm really excited about and want to recommend to people. So I think that's it. I'm not going to give a letter or number review. I think that's kind of silly. Um, I I just recommend both to fans of the genre, and I'm really happy that I personally watched them.